here we are at presumably the last episode of this series. So let's go over the team real quick because I did about an hour of grinding in between. I had to wait for dinner to be ready and all that kind of stuff, so I did that. I ate dinner. Now we're back here. So I changed a couple of things around. First and foremost, Justin has the odd incense rather than the mind blade. I think it gives a bit of a better boost. I'm not entirely sure on that one. But most importantly, everybody is mid to high 50s right now, which is still slightly on the low side for the final fights, but it's pretty dang good for the first couple of fights. So let's go over the moves real quick. Not a lot has changed at all, but we can go over them anyway. So we finally have Shadow Ball. I think that actually happened inside of the last episode. So we have Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, Dazzling Gleam, and Sludge Bomb here. I'm never going to get tired of doing that. Naturally learned Earthquake. I also gave it Surf. I debated whether or not to give it Surf or Scald. I went with Surf because I also have Toxic. And I figured if I'm going to like fish for status effects, I might as well just use Toxic once and then start using Surf. So a Scald didn't really seem like a useful move to have. Nothing changed here. I think nothing changed here either. We have Crunch on Sparky now, and nothing has changed there either. So not a lot of things have changed. I did go look up where to get the Earthquake TM, figuring maybe a second Pokemon Earthquake wouldn't hurt. And it's like way deep down in the Wayward Cave, so we're not going to get that at all. First and foremost, we have the final berry fight of the game before we get started with the Elite Four here today. This is going to be one long video until the end. Unless something really unfortunate happens, which means that I end up recording like for 2 hours and haven't finished off Cynthia yet, I do not assume that is even a possibility. One downside that I figured out is that we cannot actually buy Ethers at all. I thought you could buy Ethers and not buy Alexes. Turns out you can buy neither. So we're going to have to be somewhat more conservative with our PP. It should be fine. Also, fuck you. Oh, you have a Focus Sash. Of course you do. You know what? You set up the Rain Dance. That's fine. Because I'm still going to absolutely annihilate everything you have. I do quite like that the again it's faithful remake, well, it's not very faithful, but I do quite like how every single major battle in the game now has held items. I'm assuming they also have like at least like 2 or 3 perfect IVs. I know legendaries starting like Gen 6 or 7 always have at least 2 perfect IVs, which is great. I guess I'll stay in a Shadow Ball just because I don't want to switch out. But this is not a great matchup for me. And you survived that. And now I'm paralyzed. Of course. So I'm assuming that's something like that, at least for like the ace Pokemon for the big trainer battles. What? Do you have Water Absorb? Oh, you have Black Sludge. Okay. That was... Water Absorb works with rain, right? It just becomes a leftovers. Grassy terrain? Yeah, I still don't know how these terrain moves work, is the thing. They've been in the games for like 3 generations now. I still can't wrap my head around it. Yeah, I've got moves that change the terrain, but then you've also got Dynamax moves which have the secondary effect of changing the terrain. But sometimes the terrain matters, and actually it always matters. I just never know what the specific terrain does. It's a really weird mechanic, and I really hope they just like phase it out. They probably won't because it's been in the game since I think it got introduced in Gen 7, right? I think there was like the I distinctly remember the Tapus having this mechanic, all having their own move with a separate terrain linked to it. I think that's where the mechanics started, and then Gen 8 kind of built on that. That's how I remember it. It could be entirely wrong. I never really went much beyond the Elite Four in Gen 7, I must admit. And I've never played Gen 8 up until this game. So, Empoleon, we're gonna stay in for because I'm fairly certain we'll outspeed. If we don't, Ralph is absolutely dead. But if we outspeed, the Empoleon will not survive this, so that's very much a good thing. I also figured out that you can't use Reverse Seeker inside of a cave. in this game, so I couldn't rematch the Blissey trainer. And there is a Chansey trainer on Route 228, but we don't have access to that yet. So, fuck me. Next up, we have going back into Staraptor, which we will now not outspeed anymore. So let's go into Sparky instead. The thing that confuses me, right, let's go back to the terrain, right? Because the terrain is something separate from the weather. You can have grassy terrain and rain at the same time. Or sandstorm. Something like so. So it's an entirely separate mechanic. If it was just new kinds of weather, I probably wouldn't have nearly as much trouble with it. Which is more so goes to say something about me than the actual mechanic. It's that I apparently am very quickly becoming like a Gen 4er. It's the Gen Z equivalent of Gen 1er, I guess. I don't know. Like, whenever they go to a new generation and then eventually a Gen 5 remake, I will love that as well. The question is, what will my reaction be at a Gen 6 remake? Will I love it? Or will I just straight up not care? And that's not that far away. Don't kid yourself. Like, a Gen 6 remake is happening. And it's probably happening like around 2025, 2026, I imagine, is when we get the Gen 6 remakes. It has to happen, right? And if they feel more comfortable with putting these other studios on these remake projects rather than Game Freak itself, it might even happen sooner. Heracross, we can absolutely annihilate a Heracross, that's not a problem. So we might be like 2023 or 2024. Well, no, because we still need to get the Gen 5 remake. So let's say 2025 or 26 is probably when we get that remake for Gen 6. And am I going to give a shit? In so far as to we have a game by then which will have another, which will have Mega Evolution, I'm going to be hyped as fuck. But other than that, I don't really care for Gen 6. Honestly, the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire is the perfect way to experience Gen 6 because it's Gen 3 with Mega Evolution. Only if Mega Evolution was more of a like big thing throughout the normal gameplay experience. I guess you have Mega Latios and Latias. But other than that, I think all the Mega Evolution is restricted to post-game. That being said, that's more or less also the case for X and Y, right? You have your starters, your Mega Blaziken, if you had like the pre-order bonus, and then Mega Lucario, and that's pretty much all the Megas you're going to get until the post-game. So it's not that different, really, because you haven't got Mega Latios or Latias in the Gen 4 or Gen 3 remake. This is the Gen 4 remake. So I like the idea that this dude is here to check you if you have the badges. You can't get here if you don't have all the badges. And if you're like glitching your way into here, you can probably glitch your way past that guy as well. So he doesn't really like accomplish a lot there at all. First off, we have Bugsy, and I really like this camera angle compared to the original game. First off, we have Bugsy, so we're going to burn the absolute hell out of his entire team. I will pull up the Cerebi article that I closed. So that's Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Elite 4. I just want to make sure that I know the actual held items and stuff like that they have, because if they have held items, I want to be careful with that. So he's going to start with a Dustox which has Black Sludge. That's not gonna matter. Like, at all. Because we are going to just annihilate it. I think we're going to annihilate most of his team in one shot, honestly. The Drapion is honestly the most scary thing because it's not a block type. What are we going to do for the Drapion? I guess we're going to hit it in the head real hard with a close combat. But I really want to save my close combat, so probably we like throw a power up punch or two in his face. It has a scope lance that increases critical hit chance, right? Dustox, yeah, so we're just going to Flame Wheel you. Raises critical hit chance. By how much is the question? It does not give me an answer. Wait, Dustox survive? What? You survived that? No, you didn't. Oh, you did. You very much did, and you have the black sludge. So that's going to be a 2-hit. That's honestly not a great start to the Elite Four. I'll be honest with you there. You know what the best part about finishing this is? Is that tonight, when I'm in bed, just like chilling out, not ready to sleep yet, I can play Pokemon. Because the series will be over and I can just like play the post game. And have fun. I have been thinking that maybe I want to make the finale of the series, the Giratina fight. But getting to that point would probably take quite a... Oh my fucking god, you hit like a truck. You are also burned by... Oh, you probably have guts. Is probably what's going on here. So let's Mark Punch you so that you... Yeah, full restore, I kind of figured. You probably have guts, right? Yeah, you do. That's why you hit like a truck. Okay, now that makes sense. Ralph is gonna die if I stay in. But what other options do I have? Because I don't really have a lot. So I think the safe switching is the best thing to go with here. So let's Flame Wheel, see how much it does. Maybe get a critical hit. Oh yeah, fucking hell, we didn't even need to crit. Never mind. Okay. Get some experience. Then you switch out into the Beautifly. That's a flying type. We can take that out with Sparky. No problem at all there. And from there you have your Vespiquen and your Drapion. Vespiquen, same thing. As a Beautifly, it's a flying type. We're going to Thunderbolt it, or more likely, we're going to Spark it. And then the Drapion, we... Look, the Drapion is kind of a problem because Ralph is almost dead. And that's my fighting type. So I'm very glad that I went for the physical move there, by the way, because it seems like he raised his special defense. I don't know if it also raises his physical defense, but he's dead anyway. So that's another one down. You're going into Vespiquen right away, so I don't have to switch around. That's very, very nice. And you will probably die too. You probably will be able to take one Spark. You did. And you have a Citrus Berry. Okay. Will you take another Spark? You probably will die from another Spark regardless. But Defense Order. Is that physical or special defense? That's both. Okay. That's not great for me, because that means that unless I get a critical hit, you're going to survive this. Barely survive it, but you survived it anyway. Okay, that's a lot of damage. Holy, okay, that's a critical hit. That eases my mind a little bit. Let's see, because you're going to use a full restore here. You're not. Okay. Vespiquen is just dead. Great. I also bought 30 full restores, by the way. I still have about like 18 or 19, 17, something like that. Revives as well. So we have plenty of items to get us through this. Next one we have the Drapion. That's where I get a little bit spooked, because... Is Drapion weak to Fairy? I don't think it will be. Right now, that'll be neutral. I am checking. Oh, ground type, obviously. We're going to Earthquake this motherfucker. It's also like literally the only thing it's weak to. So... What was I thinking fighting would do a lot? Poison resists fighting? Okay, that's news to me. Also, its gender ratio is 50.2% male. And 49.8% female. Why the fuck wouldn't it just be 50-50? There probably is some kind of like lore-based reason for it, don't get me wrong. But let's just Earthquake this thing. And Night Slash, you know what? That'll probably deal... Oh, holy fuck! Okay, that's a critical hit. That makes a lot of sense. That's only half HP. That's not good. Okay, that's not great. This is gonna kill. Another critical... Not necessary, dude. Very, very unnecessary. Also kinda rude. I guess the next best thing is brute force your way through it and just slash hope that you get a critical hit as well. And just fucking use, again, The god of time. Oh, you also have Earthquake. Oh my fucking god! That's a lot of them. Another critical. What the fuck? Oh, you have your scope lands. That makes sense. Oh, that's not good. Oh, that's a real bad. Fuck. We can Mark Punch for a bit of guaranteed damage. But other than that, we don't really have a lot to deal with you right now. So we're just going to like take an Earthquake, I suppose. Because there's not much we can do about that. The next one is also going to be rough. It's Bertha. I guess let's just Mark Punch and see what happens. Because it's literally the only thing we can do. Unless we outspeed and we can Power Up Punch. Which is 40, that's also 40, so that literally doesn't matter because we'll die anyway. So if you outspeed, only close combat will be worth it. But honestly, if we can't get through this without using the close combat, we don't deserve to win yet. So let's Mark Punch, let's see how much damage that deals. That's not bad, actually. That's really not bad. Ralph survives because he fucking loves me. Thank you for that, mechanic. And we Mark Punch and killed Drapion. Why did none of my other Pokemon that died? Critical. You could have done that a bit earlier. I mean, I guess the Alga doesn't love me yet. But I would assume that Quagsire at this point would be head over heels in love with me. Which is just a weird thing to say. Especially since, like, you have, like, Pokemon that look a little, like, people-ish, right? The Lopunny, Gardevoir, those kind of thing. It's still a bit weird to get turned on by those Pokemon, but you know what? I don't judge. You do you. Doesn't hurt anybody. If you're getting turned on by Quagsire, you actually need to go see a doctor. Because that's literally just a blue blob. No king shaming, just looking out for people's mental health. Which are related. I'm not saying that in a bad way, I'm just saying that like if you like it freaky, it's probably because you've got some kind of trauma, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's not your fault. It's just like how psychology works. I'm very sorry to break it to you. So, let's get on to a different topic before this video gets demonetized. We are ready to get going. Let's, however, not lead with Ralph. That seems like the worst thing you could do right about now. So, we're leading with our water type, I think is the best thing to do. Then again, you lead with Quagsire, which we don't really have an answer to. So, I think Quagsire is one of the few exceptions where we just start with the Elga, we roar off time just to get through it. Then, if this is correct, you will go into Sudowoodo, which means that we can Power Up Punch. Hopefully, then you'll just go into Golem, which means that we can Power Up Punch again. At that point, we're at like +3 probably, because we'll probably take 2 Power Up Punch to get Sudowoodo down. And then I think we can Mark Punch the Whiscash and Hippopo down relatively easily. It's Hippo down, not Hippopo down. It's Hippopotas and Hippo down. So yeah, we just roar off time, your ass, because I'm not taking any chances with this, because you definitely have Earthquake. You do. So that's bye-bye Quagsire. Critical hit, was it necessary? No. Am I glad I got it anyway? Hell yeah. Okay, so now you go into one of your rock types, presumably, right? You go into Golem. That's not great, because that probably also has Earthquake. Yeah, it does. At least I can surf against the Golem, but that kind of does throw off my strategy for Whiscash and Hippo down. Because I was really hoping to have Sudowoodo first to set up some power-up punches against, and I don't get that opportunity right now, so I'm a bit pissed about that. Hold on. Let's just to be sure, Water and Ice are equally effective against you, right? No, Water is actually more effective. I was just checking if Ice would be equal effective, and thinking that there would be both, like, 2 times. Apparently, Surf actually would just annihilate this Golem. But Sturdy, for fuck's sake. You'll probably full restore, right? Yeah, you do. Which will reactivate Sturdy as well. It's really fucking annoying. But at least... I think I outsped before, didn't I? I'm leaning towards yes, I did. So what we'll do is we'll Ice Beam, hopefully not get it down to very low HP, and then we can Surf. Freeze it? You didn't freeze it. That's fair. Okay, answer to my question, I definitely, in fact, did not outspeed the Golem. Which seems kind of bullshit. Because it's literally a living rock. How can it be fast? That being said, we're probably at the point right now where a power-up punch will at least deal a significant amount of damage, and I'm definitely outspeeding with this. So, hopefully significant amount means the kill. No, it did not. Avoid the attack because you love me? Survive the attack because you love me? No, neither of them. You know what, Infinite? Fuck you too. Fuck you too. Well, I'm kind of fucked, aren't I? I was going to Gengar first. But this is not even the highest level Pokemon she has, so... this is kind of fucked. Remember when I said Cynthia wasn't that big a deal? I'm probably going to swallow those words, but we can't even get to her easily right now. That's probably the reason people think Cynthia is difficult, is because the Elite Four before Cynthia is particularly difficult. And if you don't come prepared with like healing items, you're gonna get fucked by Cynthia, specifically. Even though she's far from the actual problem here. You know what? We're going to Flash Cannon the Pseudo-Buddha. And then Wishcash is getting a Roar of Time as well. I'm abusing these Roar of Times really, really hard, I'm aware. But it's literally the only way for me to... Okay, Golem also had a soft sand. I realize now. The Citrus Berry on the Sudowoodo just didn't matter. Which probably also kind of... Okay, Wishcash again is getting a Roar of Time to the face. I do not give a shit. The Hippowdon has a Chesto Berry, which... is not good. It's not good. Because it's gonna rest. So I kind of need to Roar of Time that one as well. But I can't say I'm against it while recharging because it'll fucking murder me. You live a Roar of Time? What? And now you're gonna full restore. And my speed is lower, I don't really care. Now my speed is going to be lower by 2 stages, and now I'm starting to care, because now you'll probably definitely outspeed me. But you didn't use a full restore, so at least there's that. Why would you switch to Hydro Pump? Because there's the likelihood of me living this one compared to another Earthquake or Bulldoze, I mean. A lower, surely. Miscalculation, I guess. Build into the AI. That's real neat. But now that I don't have a recharge period anymore, I'm saying the fuck in for this one. Because, number one, I don't think Sandstream damages me anyway, because I'm a Steel type. Number two, abusing the most powerful move on my team means, yeah, the speed. Speed drop. I forgot about that one. Also, Animal Crossing. It's a fun game. I don't have it. Well, I guess we definitely don't go into Sparky. I guess we go into Gengar? and hope that like one move will do the trick here, and that one move will be Shadow Ball because it's got Stab. If this doesn't do it, I'm fucked. Okay, that's a critical hit. Okay, I'm fucked. Because this is taking out the Gengar, without a doubt. Then we've got Justin with Psychic, which will do a Earthquake is disabled. Okay, so the thing is now that Earthquake is disabled, he also has, of course, Rest, which is going to be a bitch to deal with. But he also has Crunch. So I probably don't want to send in my Psychic type. And if he doesn't have Earthquake for a couple of turns, I can probably use Crunch. And kill it? I'm going to go into Justin. Justin will deal more raw damage. I can be sure of that. I'm using a lot more revives here than I thought I was going to, which is not great. Let's see. Psychic, I outspeed. You didn't go for the... Well, you could have gone for the rest, I wouldn't know. And you're dead. So I hope that you'll be able to get some rest. Okay, 2 out of 4 down. Could be better. Could be a lot worse. We're half an hour in. Okay. Maybe I'll split this up into 2 episodes anyway, if I end up dying. I don't know, if I end up dying, will I just not post this? I can't not post this because of the berry fight. Will I skip over all of this? Probably not, right? Okay, anyway, before we go into the next one, I think we have some important shit to do. First and foremost, next one, Flint. This one, I'm actually like 0% scared for. Because for Flint, we have like 2 Pokemon that resist. Well, actually, 2 Pokemon that resist, 1 that's super effective. I'll just call them by name. How about that? We've got a neutral... That's not what I wanted to do. We've got a neutral Pokemon in Dialga. Ralph resists it. The fire type, that is. Then we've got Gengar, that's neutral. Justin is neutral. Sparky is neutral. And then resists as well. So we're definitely going to start this fight off with our water type, because we're going to more or less just serve this entire thing to death. Steelix we might switch in something else. And he also has a Drifblim, so that's definitely going to be a thing for Sparky, Lopunny. He's actually got a pretty well diverse team. And Surf is not going to do too much to like half of it, I realize now. So we've got Rapidash, Surf, Steelix, we'll see what we do with that. Drifblim is Sparky, Lopunny is Ralph, and Infinite will be Justin. So this is actually a team effort. It's the one I'm the least scared about. That being said, Infinite does have a Focus Sash, so that could be slightly annoying. But first things first, serve the Rapidash. That shouldn't be... I avoided that attack, okay, that could have been real annoying. Rapidash, I, for some reason, don't see being much of a problem. Okay, so we 2-shot you. That's fine, as long as you don't hit the Hypnosis this turn. Of course you do. Maybe love will wake me... like, fucking kiss the Quagsire. I just talked about getting turned on by a Quagsire and how it's weird, just fucking do it. Maybe he'll wake up. She'll wake up. Same fucking difference to me. Critical hit, okay. Fast asleep. Take your fucking time, Quagsire. You only need to take this one Pokemon out. That's about it. So, take your fucking time. Sure, I want you to be well rested. You need your sleep. You do need your sleep. You woke up. Okay. Surf. Rapidash is dead. Moving on. He's not quite dead yet, but... there we go. Moving on. Who's next? At least we're getting some levels up, so even if I die here, I'll have gotten a couple of level ups, so then the next attempt through will be a lot easier. I should have... I couldn't actually have gone through for a practice run, because I would have had to fight Barry to get in. So this is my practice run, you could say. Pain wants to learn Aura Sphere. That's probably not a bad idea. It's 80 power. 100% accuracy. It's guaranteed accuracy, actually. It's special rather than physical. So I think it's in every way better than maybe... Do I really need Ancient Power is the question. Do I really need Ancient Power? I think the answer to that is a resounding no, I don't think that I do. So we're going to get Aura Sphere. That might actually not matter at all. I don't think it's going to matter at all. Actually, fucking might. Against Lopunny, specifically. And then after that, never again. But it'll matter. A bit. I mean, I could have just sent out Ralph and used close combat here and be done with it as well, but using the Alga is a lot more... Okay, high jump kick. That's gonna hurt. Actually, that didn't hurt that much. Would have hurt her a lot more if it actually hit. Or missed, rather. Lopunny has leftovers. Oh, that's really annoying. Otherwise, I would have two-shot. You could miss the high jump kick, though. Of course you didn't. Because why the hell would you ever do something that would be nice for me? Give me a critical hit. Give me a maximum damage roll. Give me something to kill the Lopunny. I don't care which one it was. It was a max damage roll. Fine. Lopunny is dead. Good. Next one. See, this one isn't going so badly. Steelix. You know what? That one I'm actually kind of afraid of. Because Steelix weakness is like fighting. Ground? Water? Fire? I'm gonna stay in for this one, I think. Because hear me out. I don't think the Alga is going to be too useful for any of the other Pokemon on this specific team. We've got a Drifblim and an Infernape. I don't really care about either one of those with the Alga. Yeah, Aura Sphere. The Drifblim is going to be easy to take out. The Infernape, I worry about a tiny bit. And right now we're in a situation where we're probably... that's not great either. I was going to say, we can probably get off a couple of power-up punches on the Steelix here and then just sweep the rest of the team. And while we still could do that, that doesn't seem like the best idea ever. So what we'll do instead is we'll hope that you... no, that just doesn't seem like a good idea. We'll go back into you, into the Quagsire, and we'll Earthquake. Because you're going to use a full restore. I'll see how much this Earthquake does. There is a decent chance of me outspeeding you next turn, because you're a fucking hunk of steel. It's not gonna kill. Unless I get a critical hit, which I very well could, because Quagsire loves me. I outspeed. Okay, good. I didn't get a critical hit. Even another one might not kill. Crunch won't do too much, surely. Okay, maybe it does. Critical hit, max damage roll. Fantastic. Max damage roll. I'm getting so fucking lucky here. The live orb really does also. I didn't even notice that, honestly. Like, in the amount of damage, that makes sense. It has a live orb. That's why it dealt so much damage with fucking Crunch. Okay, next up is Sparky, and then we've got Infernape, and then it's on to Lucia. So we're actually, I think we're through some of the more difficult things, because Lucia is not going to be a problem. Like, we're just going to crunch the shit out of like half that team. Like, literally. Use Crunch for half the team. We're going to Spark with you. And I'm very happy that I didn't get burned before using Spark, because that would have been really annoying. But just to be sure, I'm going to change to Thunderbolt. You probably have a... Citrus Berry is what you have, okay. Could have just looked at the actual screen to figure that information out. Okay, why the fuck would you baton pass and not just switch out? That makes no sense. At least try to use an Ominous... You don't even have Ominous Wind. You could have used a Strength Sap and Minimize. Like, there's literally... Like, your moveset is made to pass on moves or stat boosts to other Pokemon. You just didn't. Sure. I'm actually going to stay in here because I don't want to take the damage going into Justin, and I've got other ways to deal with Drifblim. Mainly that being like 2 different moves on Gengar. And you can't really hit me with the moves that you've got on Gengar. So I think this is probably the best thing to do, and we can go back to Spark. Unless close combat absolutely annihilates me, which it does not, so you've got a lower defense now as well. This is going to deal a lot of damage. This probably will take it out actually at the range it's at. It did not. But it did paralyze it, so I will outspeed it unless it has Mark Punch, which it does. Is it going to be intelligent enough to use Mark Punch when... No, it's going to use a full fucking restore. Okay. That's also not great. Does Thunderbolt do more damage? Yeah, it definitely does. No, the close combat will, however, kill, but you're going to be at like -2 defense and special defense. There's no way in fucking hell that you're surviving. And I don't think you've got a lot of damaging... I mean, you've got Fire Punch and Thunder Punch. That can damage Gengar, I suppose. But let's just go into Gengar right off the bat here. Because we can... fucking doesn't matter, really. I guess Shadow Ball will be super effective against the Drifblim. Why did I... For some reason, I was thinking that I was choiced. Which makes a lot of sense with a Gengar, right? But I don't have choice packs, so... Okay. And then we've got Drifblim, which... we probably actually won't outspeed, so I'll probably die. I made a mistake. We're 2 levels lower, but we are speedy. You minimize? Okay. Not gonna lie, not great. But if we can hit this, and we do, you're going to absolutely blow the fuck up. Because it's a balloon. You get it? Sure. Okay, that's Flynn done. And we're moving on to Lucier. Which is not going to be that big of a deal, really, because it starts with Mr. Mime, so we're going to just, like, whatever the Steel-type move we have is. I keep forgetting. That one in the face. You know what? The Elite Four, actually a lot easier when you're not playing a Nuzlocke. Like, when you can just revive after every single battle and you don't have to work around things not dying. Turns out, these fights aren't that bad. The Bertha fight was still very scary. I am not going to use an entire, like, new potion for, like, 4 HP. That seems a little too much. If you'd had Sturdy, that would have definitely been worth it, just in case. But otherwise, not really. Oh, I forgot to get the special orb. The special held item for Dialga, which boosts, like, I think... some type of move? It boosts something. Either dragon or steel types, I think. Or maybe both. I don't fucking know. Number 4 out of the Elite Four. Now we get serious, because this is actually going to be kind of rough. Mr. Mime's not going to be a problem. Medicham's also actually not going to be a problem, because I realize I have Dazzling Gleam. But then we have Bronzong and Girafarig. Girafarig is not that dangerous. But it does... Okay, so let's let's get things clear here. We need to kill this Mr. Mime, because it's got Light Clay and Light Screen and Reflect. So Flash Cannon needs to murder the hell out of this thing. Otherwise, we're going to be in for a lot of trouble. We're going to be in for some trouble. Light Screen. Okay, so that means for the next like 7 or 8 turns, I don't remember what it is, special moves are a very, very big no-go. That's not good, because Flash Cannon is a special move, right? Yeah, it is. So you're gonna survive this, is what's happening. Unless I get a critical hit. I didn't. Okay, that wasn't too bad. You're going to full restore. Of course you did. Do I have anything that's super effective and physical? No, I don't, because I think you've started resisting dog because of your fairy typing, right? Let's just double check that. Weaknesses. This is the... I want a normal Mr. Mime, please, not the Galarian one. Let's see. Yeah, dog is normal. Steal times 2. So is poison, but I don't really... I have Sludge Bomb, actually. I have Sludge Bomb. So I can go into Gengar. I don't think you can do too much. Actually, you probably have Psychic. Yeah, that might not have been my best idea ever. Yeah, you do have Psychic and Dazzling Gleam. So... Okay, Dazzling Gleam is not going to damage me too much. Okay, that still damaged me quite a bit. But Sludge Bomb is also a fucking special move. Why the fuck did I switch out into something else that uses special moves? I'm actually an idiot. You're poison. Never mind, I'm a genius. I'm also dead. But you're poison, so that's all that matters. And if I can stall out your light screen, the rest of the team is just going to go down, right? But what do I do now? I guess I go back into the Alga and just pick up where we left off before poisoning. I got really fucking lucky there. I did not deserve that. At this point, I think Slash will actually deal more damage. And the poison will probably take it out at this range. Or just barely not. No, I did take it out. Okay, the game doesn't hate me that much. Maricham. We can go into Justin for that one, because there's not a lot of things that Maricham with Zen Headbutt, High Jump Kick, Thunder Punch, and Ice Punch. It's got a Muscle Band. Can do against me, and I can Dazzling Gleam it and probably just absolutely ruin its day. I outspeed. So the Medicham is... Ooh, you took that... Oh, light screen. Yeah, I keep forgetting that. How does everybody keep landing these fucking high jump kicks? Isn't that supposed to be a 50-50 move? I guess I'll just die. It's not like I was going to use Alakazam for anything other than the Medicham on this team. But the lack of Gengar is kind of scary, I won't lie. At least you wasted another turn. Okay, again, high jump kick. What is the actual accuracy of this move? Because I'm calling bullshit. Its accuracy... Oh, it's 90. Never mind. Okay. That makes a lot of sense then. I guess I can Mach Punch. Or I can Earthquake. Let's just go into Sparky and start crunching things. Because Crunch will be neutral. Oh, you actually have a lot more HP left than I thought you did. But it'll be physical. It'll be a physical attack, so it can break through the light screen. Can absolutely demolish the Medicham. It'll deal a... Oh, you still have Alakazam. Alakazam also won't be a problem. It really won't be, actually. So, you'll probably survive one hit. Okay, you've got Nasty Plot. That's kind of scary. If you live long enough to use a move on me, which you probably won't, because I didn't expect you to die from that. But that was the most useless Nasty Plot I've ever seen. There wasn't even a chance of you doing anything else. Girafarig we're staying in for as well, without a doubt, because that just makes sense. When the fuck did Girafarig get Sap Zipper? I mean, and why the fuck would you ever... Okay, sure. Girafarig, Crunch, bye. If Alakazam... I mean, Alakazam is way more of a glass cannon, to be fair. Trick Room. That's not great for the Bronzong coming up. Not at all. But we can just Flame Wheel it. It's not going to be a problem. It's a bit scary. Not that much. Of course you would live with 1 HP. I mean, God knows I've lived with 1 HP plenty of times throughout this Let's Play, so I can't really complain, but still, I'm slightly annoyed. Okay, get me a critical hit, please. Something like that. Or just 2 maximum damage rolls, that also works. Yeah, the Trick Room's gonna be issue. Slight issue there. And Drifblim is gone, so now we can go into Infernape and just Flame Wheel the Bronzong probably like 2 or 3 times, honestly, because it's still going to be a very bulky Pokemon. But this went remarkably well as well. So then the next fight is Cynthia, and that's the one that's got me a little worried. I mean, Spiritomb, not going to be a problem. Roserade, probably not going to be that big of a problem. Gastrodon's got me terrified. Lucario, I'm kind of scared for. Milotic, I'm terrified. Garchomp, I'm strangely indifferent to. So let's see how much a Flame Wheel does. You have Earthquake. I'm sorry, what? I mean, it makes sense. But that's also kind of problematic. Because now I need to stall out the Trick Room, because this is the only thing that I have against Bronzong. Oh, we don't need to stall out anything, because Trick Room's gone. So now we outspeed and we just murder the Bronzong. I knew that. That was all timed out in my head. I was keeping track of the Trick Room and everything. Just like I definitely at some point saw the light screen wear off, and I didn't just like literally only now realize that it must have worn off sometime during this fight. But I'm a genius. I keep track of those things in my head. Definitely. That's why I'm almost losing in every single fight. Okay, we've made it through the Elite Four. Now, some more reviving. Actually, only 2 Pokemon fainted there. And we're going to just use some full restores here because I can't be bothered to do anything otherwise. Is it a waste of money? Yeah. Do I care? No. I bought 30 of them, intending to use them on every single Pokemon after every single battle. Didn't end up being needed. So, max Ether without... Do I have normal Ethers? I do. Without a doubt, we need our backup move here. Roar of Time needs to be at 5 PP. Other than that, I think we're kinda good. So, I'm gonna do the cheese thing, and I'm going to save before Cynthia. I don't usually do this, but this has taken me 50 minutes, and I don't really want to do this again, because I want to finish this Let's Play tonight. So what we're going to do is, we're going to stand here, we're going to save, and wasn't that a neat transition? The thing that happened there is I spent about an hour trying to beat Cynthia and just decided that, you know what, I can't. So what I did then is spend most of that evening, like an hour and a half, just bashing my head against the Elite Four over and over and over and over again, until I gained between like 6 and 10 levels on every Pokemon. And now we're back here and actually beating Cynthia. And I'm uploading the field attempt, which is like an hour long, I think, as a separate video for the next upload. I was thinking maybe that could be like a fun Patreon video, but I'm just gonna upload it because I don't have any Patreons anyway. So I started with the wrong lead. Did I though? Because I can toxic. I've gone through this fight like 5 times now, so I've got a couple of different strategies to pivot towards. I haven't done it at this level though. I'll go through the levels in a moment. Everything is between level 64 and like 69. Nice. I think maybe 68, I don't know. Long story short is let's go over the Pokemon real quick. So we've got at 65, Justin at 66, Pain at 63, Ralph at 69, nice, Sparky at 68, and Gengar at 65. So let's get this done, I guess. I didn't really want to start off with but I guess we are. I also have a shit ton of revives. I have a shit ton of full restore, so this should all go fairly smoothly, all things considered. Probably I'll end up having some trouble in some way sooner or later anyway. But with a little bit of luck, there's this surf. I don't know if it's more especially or physically defensive, but if this surf does more damage than the move before, and combined with the toxic poison, but you have a citrus berry, you son of a bitch. So this definitely is not going to kill, but it is going to probably get you into the range where you will full restore after the poison. So this entire deal with Quagsire was just one gigantic waste of time. You might not full restore actually. And you will definitely die to a Dazzling Gleam at this range. So at least there is that. You sucker punch. You son of a bitch. I mean, I didn't die, so that's a good thing. It's the first time that's actually used Sucker Punch against me, believe it or not. It's also the first time that I am definitely, like, having the upper hand here. But this is to show you that, if you want to see somebody having difficulty with Cynthia, watch tomorrow's video. We don't really need Power Gem. Or not tomorrow's video, but the day after that. If you want to see why Cynthia isn't that big a deal, watch this video, right? Because at this point, I'm roughly at the same level as her. You might say I'm a little over-leveled. Maybe a couple of levels, granted. I could have probably gone in like a level or two lower. But the issue there is that I don't really have control over which Pokemon get how much experience due to how the experience mechanics work in this game. So, I'm roughly at her level. And suddenly this fight is a lot, and I really mean a lot easier. You're going to full restore next turn. I thought a Roar of Time at this range, at this level, I mean, would take it out. It did not. And maybe this will actually get you to the range where you won't use a full restore. You still use a full restore. Okay, so what we're going to do instead is we're still going to use Roar of Time, because I have nothing to do with this Gastrodon other than just pure power through it. So we're going to Aura Sphere first, deal a little bit of damage, and then Roar of Time to finish it off. Was that a bit of a waste of a turn? Yeah, maybe. Also, this thing is so goddamn slow. Again, you'll see in the other recording that's going up as the next Pokemon upload. You will see that even after like 4 Rock Tombs at a lower level, I still outspeed this thing. So now that I'm level 64, I don't think, even if I'm at the lowest speed humanly possible, I don't think that this will outspeed me anyway. So the Roar of Time takes out to Gastrodon. That's, like, there's no question about that. And that's 2 down, 4 to go. This is, other than the Garchomp, definitely the most scary thing. The Garchomp is actually more scary than it was in the original, because it has a berry that reduces the damage from Ice-type moves specifically. It only does it once. But the strategy of just hit it with an Ice Beam and absolutely melt it, or freeze it rather, away, doesn't really work as well anymore. So this Cynthia is actually a fair bit more difficult than the original one. Which is good, because Cynthia is always hyped up to be this very, very difficult fight. And she really isn't. But now she is. So I'm happy with that. Next up, we go into Milotic. For Milotic, I think I'm going to go into Gengar. Gengar isn't going to be too useful for anything else. Maybe we could use the Dazzling Gleam. I just realized in the other recording, I was very confused as to why Gengar's Thunderbolt dealt less damage than Sparky. Sparky has Stab. Sparky's even less useful for the rest of this team, so let's go into Sparky. We could potentially Dazzling Gleam the Garchomp, which would help. That's the offset for not being able to use Ice Beam as easily against the Garchomp, right? It's got one more type it's weak to right now, compared to the original game. So that's Thunderbolt. See what that does. This thing has a Flame Orb, and it's going to get to use it. Okay, so it's actually a pretty annoying and stally Pokemon. If you at any point want to heal up your Pokemon, like revive them, use full restores or anything like that, you do it against this Milotic, because this Milotic will survive almost infinitely. It won't be able to damage you a lot, probably, if you send out the right Pokemon. and it will just keep healing itself. Because it's got to recover, because it's a fucking son of a bitch. Then we go back into Ralph. Again, as you can see, this fight, if you come prepared and you know what you're doing and you're not on the level, not too difficult. Then again, I might be slightly over-leveled, but you're seeing how easy this actually is, being over-leveled. So it's not... It's probably just like a decent fight if you're at the proper level. You will, again, also get to see how monstrously difficult this is if you're under-leveled. But then again, I want to reiterate that all the failed attempts, I was... Like, my highest level Pokemon was 61, I think. It was the team that we just ended the Elite Four with. So, yeah. Okay, Garchomp. I'm going to try Roar of Time. Before, when I tried this, I got taken out by a single Earthquake every single time. I'm a higher level now, my defense is a little bit higher, my speed is a little bit higher. Maybe I can outspeed or outlive the Garchomp now. Because I am still fairly confident that a Roar of Time will absolutely annihilate this thing, because it's Roar of Time. Right? Okay. You go for the Swords Dance, that might actually be good for me. Unless it's not. We also still have Mark Punch. If we don't outspeed, which we probably will outspeed with Infernape at this range, Garchomp just dies to one Roar of Time, and that's Cynthia done. Okay, critical hit. Maybe that mattered in this case. It might not have, I don't know. That's one of those cases where I think the critical hit might have mattered. It honestly might or might not have mattered depending on the damage roll there. Because I was going to be a close one regardless. I mean, we got a critical hit, so it wasn't even close. And that is the end of a Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. Because I'm not doing the post-game in this series. We're going to be doing some other stuff for Pokemon moving forward. I have some ideas. It's not going to immediately start uploading. It's going to be a few weeks before I start that project because I need to test out some things. Maybe that project won't actually end up happening because it ends up not being as fun as I imagined it would be. And we're just going to stick with some Mario Odyssey for the next little while. I'm not entirely sure. It could also just very well be the case that I just wait until Mario Odyssey is finished and then do that project. Because I don't know what I want to do after Mario Odyssey. I'm playing Mario Odyssey right now for like a bit of research purposes, obviously for my own 3D platformer. I might move on to A Hat in Time after that. I might not. We'll see. I honestly don't know what we're going to do yet. And there we go. The Hall of Fame. With only one Ultra Ball. The rest of them are all Pokeballs. Because most of the Pokemon that I have with me are pretty early catches, to be honest, right? We've got the Quagsire. We've got Justin, the Alakazam. We've got Pain, fuck you, to the Dialga. We've got Ralph, my starter, the Infinite, now at level 70. We've got Sparky, the Luxray, at level 69, nice. We've got Gengar, the Gengar, at level 65. And with that, we have my entire fucking team finish the game in 24 hours and 33 minutes. That's my trainer ID as well, apparently. You know what? Actually, let's take a capture of that, just because. Could be nice for a thumbnail. I can just take that out of VLC, I know, but still. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. We're not going to sit through this entire credit sequence. Like, I really just don't want to. I did get the mystery gift for the Platinum outfit, which I'm going to equip the moment we get out of this. I also got the Manaphy egg, because Manaphy is a bitch to get otherwise. And I don't think I have one in my living deck yet. I also finally ordered a 3DS charger, which should be arriving. I think it's at the 30th of December. It's the holidays, right? So it's kind of annoying. I'm recording this the 26th, so I will be able to at least get all my living decks into Pokemon Home. Pokemon Home support isn't here yet for Diamond and Pearl yet, but or Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, rather. But I'll at least be able to have my collection on the Switch. Meaning that Manaphy egg is probably going to be relevant, because I don't think I have a Manaphy in my living decks yet, because, again, like, one of the only legit ways to ever have gotten a Manaphy is through very limited mystery gifts, or through Pokemon Ranger, where you can only get one Manaphy egg per cartridge. Not per save file, but per cartridge. Meaning that at this point in 2020, this might be going up in 2022. 2021/2022, depending on. There's probably like only a handful of cartridges left that still have an unclaimed Manaphy egg on Pokemon Ranger. So, getting a legit Manaphy is really fucking tricky. This game, at least for like a few months after its release, up until I think the end of February, gives you an out for a legit Manaphy. Same with a Jirachi Mew, actually. You can get a legit Jirachi Mew, you just have to buy 2 other separate games for it. Which is kind of funny, right? Because you could get a Mew in Pokemon Let's Go if you bought the Pokeball Plus thing with it, which is pretty much just like you're paying $50 to get Mew. And now you can get Mew in this game through owning one of the Let's Go games, which still means you're paying $50 to get a Mew. $60, I think, even. You also get an entire game to go with that, though. And supposedly it's a pretty good and fun Pokemon game. I haven't played it yet, obviously, because this was my first Switch game. And my internal storage for the Switch has run out, like, real bad. So I ordered a 512 gigabytes micro SD. And we're going to end it here. So it's been a fun series. And more to come, potentially. But for the time being, I am going to get to editing this, and we're gonna display this a lot off stream, really. Or off recording, or off screen is what I meant to say. So I'll see you all back with Mario, really.